Hi guys, I haven't made a video in a while, so I thought I'd make a video for you, for everyone actually. This can be for 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. Um, so I cleaned out my spice cupboard this weekend and I found lots of different size spice jars that were either almost empty or spices that had gone bad and that kind of thing. So I cleaned up the spice jars and I decided to make some fine motor activities. So fine motor skills are small muscles we use in our hands and our wrists to accomplish a task. And we also use vision to do that too. So if you've ever heard of like visual hand-eye coordination, that's what fine motor skills are. So the ability to use our fingers, our hands, and our wrists to complete a task like dressing or play, or any of those kinds of things. So this one, I just had some large pom-poms around my house. So you could fill a jar with pom-poms, large pom-poms. If your child puts things in their mouth, you're going to want to be sure to watch them or be careful of what you make for them. So large pom-poms, and what the child has to do is use their wrist to learn how to twist and twist the top off. And then they get the pom-poms out by shaking them out or by putting their fingers in and try and get the pom-poms out. So that's one just kind of activity I came up with for this jar. The tops are kind of fun because they flip. They flip open, but of course a pom-pom's not going to fit through the top on that. And then of course, trying to get it back on. Kiddos have to use that wrist and that sort of thing. So this is just basic kind of in and out stuff. Putting pom-poms in, shaking them out, and then of course figuring out how to get them back in the jar. So that's one I found. Almost any age can do that. Another one I had was straws also. So I cut up some straws and put them in this jar. And if you flip open the top, there's actually two tops that flip. And kiddos could work on the easier side by just plopping them in. Or the harder side with the holes and work on finding that hole to drop in. So again, just like basic in and out stuff. Novelty stuff like this is really fun for kids. So they love to play with things that aren't toys or things that they're not necessarily supposed to play with. So this makes it fun and novel and exciting. And again, it's repetitive. So sometimes just sitting and putting straws into a hole is a little bit calming and organizing. It's a task to complete. So lots of different things you can do with your empty spice jars and things you might already have around your house. I did another one. Now this is small. So this is kind of twofold. This could just be on its own if you have a younger child, like a 1-year-old or younger. What you would want to do is super glue this top shut. And now it's a really fun, colorful rattle. It just has some beads in it. And again, it's just something different that kids really like to play with and simple. Okay, so if your child is a little bit older though, this top again has two sides to it. So it's got the holes and it's got the open side. So if you're a little bit older child and they don't put things in their mouth, they could work on, again, open and closing this and flipping it. And these little beads fit right in that little hole. So they could work on trying to put them into that little hole, which requires a lot of precision. If that's too hard for them, flip it open to the easier side and just plop it in the bigger hole. Other things I found around my house, here's another just typical McCormick spice jar. with some longer straws. So I did have shorter straws in my other one. This one is just longer. So they just have to work on putting it through that hole and punching it down. I had another jar, so I found these random clothespins in my house. So this would just be kind of your typical in and out thing. Again, this one has two sides. Obviously a clothespin's not going to fit through there, so we're just going to have them work on fitting it through the small hole. If that's too hard, they could just work on plopping it in. Again, it also makes a really fun rattle for your younger ones. So those are just some basic things you can do with things you already have around your house that are motivating for kids that really work those fine motor skills. So thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.